Boy, I hope you have a great day, and everyone, I hope you enjoy your weekend. Looks like we might get a little of the white stuff.
Well, that we are
Fire
getting.
up them plows.
Oh no, we're getting a little of the white stuff now. I'm hoping that we get the sunny day. I would really like to have just a couple more days before this sticks. That's all I'm saying. So, all right, Brian. Well, thanks for calling in, my friend. I appreciate you being part of the show today. Thanks for sharing with us. 433-3150, the Pivotel call-in line. Apparently, we lost the video on Facebook, and so I don't know what happened, but we'll get it restarted here in a hot second. How about that? We'll get it going on, and we'll get things ready to rock and roll here, and we'll join there. And then don't forget, of course, at the end of the show this morning, Willie Waffle is going to be joining us. Willie Waffle from wafflemovies.com will be in with us, and we'll enjoy a little bit of that as well. We got just under 2 minutes here, and so we got another call on hold. We'll go over there and do one more call. Good morning. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Michael. This is Ron in North Pole.
Hello, my
Just
friend.
to share a similar experience.
Yeah?
About 10 years ago or so, my son, his father-in-law, and I were returning from Front Sight. And I believe it was in Anchorage. Could have been Seattle, but they were going through my gear because I had declared. And the inspector fellow found a Zoom dummy round snap cap and loose in my luggage, and just about went nuts.
Yeah.
And called the supervisor over, and he looked at the round, and he said, "Dummy." And I'm not sure whether he was referring to the round itself or his associate.
That's the perfect way to end hour one, Ron, right there. Hold the line. That's the perfect way to end it. Dummy round. A dummy. Well, what do you expect? Bureaucrats, what are you going to do? All right, folks, we're out of time. We got more coming up. Hour two is dead ahead. The Michael Duke Show. Common sense, liberty-based, free-thinking radio. Be kind to one another. Love one another. We'll see you for hour two, dead ahead. The question was, Ron, was he looking at you, and did he wink when he said dummy? That's all I want to know.
To be brutally honest, I can't recall. I think it's called Old Timers.
Yeah, exactly. But, well, I mean, sometimes those guys are no joke about it. I remember in it was the late 80s, because it was after I had gotten out of high school and I'd been commercial fishing and I'd gone hunting. So it may have been 1989. I was flying through Bob Hope Airport in Burbank. I was on my way to somewhere. Anyway, I was transferring planes, and I had to go through a TSA checkpoint again. And I had already been through, at that point, I think 3 or not TSA. It wasn't TSA at the time. It was just the security checkpoint. And somehow at this checkpoint, I had my carry-on bag. They found a loose 30-06 round in the bottom of the carry bag because I had used it for hunting at one point, and apparently there was a single loose round down in the bottom. And I'd already, like I said, I'd already flown to where I was going, and I was flying back, and so anyway, the guys were just railing me over this, and here I am, this 19-year-old kid, and I'm full of piss and vinegar. And I'm like, look, I don't know what your guys' problem is. I use this bag for hunting. I've already been through everything. I don't know how this made it through. And, but, I said, and then I said, what am I going to do? And am I going to take this? And I had a portable CD player. That's how long ago it was. I had a portable CD player, which was about the size of a large paperback. And I said, what am I going to do? Take this bullet and put it in the CD player and make it work? And they're like, oh, that's terroristic threatening. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? I mean, they had no sense of humor about this. And they're like, well, we'll let you through it. And, of course, what I didn't tell them later was that I found another 9mm round down in the box, and I stuffed it into a planter because I didn't want to have to go through that again, But, yeah, it's what a crazy.
Well, strange things do happen. Years ago when I was living and working in Barrow, I flew back and forth transporting prisoners with the Judicial Services trooper just about every weekend. And my garment of choice for the flight was what they call a short duster.
Right.
And long after I had returned to live in Fairbanks, I was going through that duster to throw it away, and in the bottom of the lining, I found a .45 ACP round that had never been detected.
Never been detected. Never. I know it's crazy. Isn't
Well,
it?
and not only that, but upon examining the round, it had a head stamp that I have never seen before or since. So God only knows where that article of clothing was manufactured.
So you're thinking that since the beginning of its life, that thing was loaded, armed and loaded.
I believe so. But, I suppose it goes to show if you have enough exposure, virtually anything can happen.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Ron. Well, thank you, my friend.
All right. Okay. Catch you later, man.
All right,
Bye.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it. It's good to laugh a little bit, isn't it? It's good to laugh. Let's go over here and get this caller's name and where they're calling from so we can get back to them when we get back to the radio here in a couple of minutes. Good morning. Who's this?
Am I on?
Yes, you are.
Okay, this is Sean from the Milchick.
Okay, Sean. I'm about 2.5 minutes away from rejoining the radio, so don't jump ahead of me here. Sean Nilchik. I always have a hard time spelling Nilchik. All right, so I'm going to put you back. You're on hold. You can hear me. You can hear everything we're doing. We're going to be rejoining the radio here in about 2.5 minutes, and then we'll take your call first things first. Okay, so don't go anywhere. Let me go back over to the chat. I don't know why Facebook, YouTube dropped out. Is everything else back up yet? I suppose I should check. Let me check my YouTube channel now. That's the only problem with multitasking is now I got to multicasting is I got to check and watch. Yeah. So it's live. It's live. It's going on right now. Actually, I restarted it twice because the Facebook wouldn't restart. So now I got to go delete some videos. All right. So that's going on. What about Twitch? Let's find out. Shall we go see if Twitch is going on? What's Twitch saying? We're up on Twitch, and we are live. Wow, it never stopped. It never stopped broadcasting on Twitch. So I could still see the comment that I made 20 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago on Twitch. Okay, well, good. Well, it's all working. Hallelujah. Let me go back to the chat room and see what else you guys are saying here. What did I miss? It's Find Waldo today. Well, yeah. I mean, you look for me everywhere. You'll be able to find me. And maybe this is why you're so tired. What? Because I'm doing all this different stuff? That's just another day, man. No, I think I'm just emotionally and kind of physical. I've been wore out for the last couple weeks anyway, dealing with a bunch of stuff, trying to get things together, dealing with bureaucracies and everything else. I've been a little wore out. I've been a little wore out for a while, and this was just this whole thing with the dog was just enough to kind of push it over. I definitely am going to sleep tonight like a log. That is 100% sure, 100% certain. I'm going to be sleeping like a log. All right, Stoots broke it. Yeah, I think I don't think Louise Stoots cares if I live or die. She has got she doesn't even, know me. She doesn't know who I am. But I don't think she'd take the effort, quite honestly. But, who knows? All right, well, like and share this video, too. Would you do that? Since you shared the first one, you can now share this one again. I mean, that's the best part. And you can like it. And you can like and follow the show page. And you can like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit the bell so you get notifications. And you can do the same on Twitch. All right, we're going to be up next. We got our phone calls. Let's do it.
Whoa, buddy. Put that thing back in its holster. We haven't gone anywhere.
I don't understand.
Check out the MichaelDukesShow.com for information on how to get access to the podcast.
The Michael Duke Show.
I have 2 guns, one for each of you.
Firearms Friday.
As Thomas Jefferson stated, it is the right and duty of the people to be at all times armed.
Say hello to my little friend.
I say that the Second Amendment is, in order of importance, the First Amendment. The right to keep and bear arms is the right that allows rights to exist at all.
The Michael Duke Show. The right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Not be infringed. Firearms.
From my cold, dead hands.
Friday.
Here's my rifle, this is my gun, this is for fighting, this is for fun.
Firearms Friday.
Yeah, yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. It is Firearms Friday. Your chance to sound off on issues of a 2A nature right here on the Michael Duke Show. Thanks for coming in and joining us. It's been a great day so far, and we're continuing that. Open line, open gun forum, gun Q&A. The phone lines are open, and Sean is calling in from Ninilchik. Let's jump over to Sean to see what he has to say this morning. Good morning, sir. What's on your mind?
Well, I just had a little story, and in the first hour there, you had mentioned about how you can bring long guns to Canada, and that's true. But when we came up here about 16 years ago from Florida, and we had some guns with us, and claimed everything, did everything we were supposed to do, and the funny thing about it was, after they asked us how long we figured we'd be in the country, and we're like, I don't know, 2-3 days. How long does it take to get through here? And we spent the next day in their garage while they ripped all of our stuff apart.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've seen that happen where people are like, yeah, I got this and that. And they're like, they spend the next 6 hours unpacking your trailer from back to front. And then they leave it for you to repack. Yeah. That's the worst part, is that then you've got to repack it all.
Yeah. They were fairly kind that way, but yeah, it was kind of a stressful day.
Yeah, no, it's definitely. Well, what was funny is here's my story of going through Canada. This was in 1989 again. I was transiting a vehicle. I was bringing a vehicle up from Phoenix, and so I went through Sweetgrass, Montana, and I was told, I had been told that they would seal the firearm. This was at the time up until this point, they had allowed handguns in Canada, but the Customs and Border there would put a seal through the firearm, and that thing better be sealed when you get through the other side, or you got some splaining to do. And so I drove up, and they're like, anything to declare? And I said, well, I just have this one pistol, and it was locked back, the whole deal. And the guy was like, whoa, you can't bring that. I'm like, what? I thought you just sealed it. We don't do that anymore. And so I had to go back to Sweetgrass, Montana to find an FFL to ship it to myself in Fairbanks, pay. I mean, at the time it was like $50. It was not cheap to ship the pistol and to pay the FFL fees on both ends of the kick and everything else. And then I came back the next day, and they ran me through the ringer on it, to make sure that I didn't have it. And here's my slip from the gun dealer. Here's my, oh man, yeah. I mean, I'm lucky they didn't tear the whole thing apart looking for stuff.
And that's funny you say FFL. We rent a cabin in the summertime, and we had a couple of guys come up and FFL, dealers, and this guy had brought up AR-15, and he had a pin in it that made it fully automatic.
Right.
And so he had it in a locked case and everything. When he went to break it out, that pin was gone.
Well, somebody apparently wanted to have it worse than he did. I mean, I guess that's the benefit of when you're an FFL or a Class 3 dealer or a manufacturer, and you have that ability to own those things. That it's fun, but you really, really got to pay attention to where that stuff is.
In a locked case. That
right.
Pin disappeared. Everything else was there. Crazy
stuff. All right, my friend. Well, thanks for calling in, Sean. I thank you for sharing your story with me. It definitely is. Definitely, you got to know your rights and know what you need to do. So there you go.
Yep.
Thanks.
First time caller. Been listening for a while.
Well, thanks,
Thank you.
Sean. I appreciate that. If you are planning on transiting through Canada, by the way, you can do it again legally with long guns. You can bring a certain amount of ammunition. Just Google the Canadian Firearms Center. Canadian Firearms Center. There's a whole list of, it basically tells you exactly what you can bring, what you can't bring, how much ammunition, how much of each. You can only bring a certain amount of ammunition through Canada in certain calibers. And the Canadian Firearms Center has got the whole list laid out of everything that you need to know before you try and travel through. Don't be. They didn't have the internet back in '89 when I was walking through there, so that's why I showed up with a pistol. But just go to it. Let's go back over here. Good morning. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Morning, Michael. This is Larry in North Pole.
Hello, Larry. How are you, my friend?
Oh, chilly. I had 20 above this morning in my place.
20 above, huh? Yeah, I know this. I'm not regretting moving from Fairbanks today. I'll tell you, it's about 28 here and some snow on the ground. But all we need is 1 or 2 days of sunshine, and it'll be gone. And I've got my fingers crossed right now, Larry.
Yeah. Hey, talking about the TSA, I left here to go to a shooting match down in the lower 48. And I was going to do some bird hunting while I was there. And I went to the airport, and I had a Model 67 Savage Stevens 12-gauge shotgun.
Right.
The barrel is threaded in. It's permanently threaded in. You don't take it apart. And the idiot out here at TSA was telling me, well, you got to take the barrel out. You got to take the barrel off of that before you can ship it. I said, no, you can't. I said, it takes a gunsmith to get the, and he stood there. I said, no, go get your supervisor.
Right. Go get your supervisor.
And finally, supervisor come over there and tell him, kind of ran him through the procedure and
right.
Made him put egg on his face.
Yeah.
And
well, and especially
something that
I'm sorry, Larry. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Larry. Go ahead.
Sorry. Something else. If people that travel off the ferry, never ever be the first vehicle through the checkpoint station. Like when you come in from Haines,
right,
and you're driving up, never be the first vehicle. This was in '76. We came through and I'm thinking, well, everybody's pulling over on the side of the road. What are they doing that for? Well, when I got up there, I was the first vehicle through. They took the door panels off. They took the air cleaner off. They took that car apart and left it in the mud.
In the mud.
Took my suitcase, dumped it. Took my suitcase and just pulled it out. Took the suitcase out of the trunk, opened it up, turned it upside down in that mud. I reared back and was going to clobber the guy. Unfortunately, my brother was there, had more sense than me, and grabbed my arm. And but I asked me if I ever want to do that again.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it's ironic that the TSA agent in Fairbanks, Alaska, didn't know the fire. I mean, if you want to know the number of firearms that get shipped out on airlines out of Alaska, you best educate all those people, because I've shipped more firearms out of Alaska than anybody else. So it's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Larry. How'd the gun show go?
One other thing.
Go ahead.
Gun show went okay for me. I heard there's another one coming up.
There is another one coming up a week from tomorrow, in fact.
Okay. I haven't heard about it. I just heard it on the radio yesterday or day before.
Yep.
And it said, of course, I'm computer illiterate, and they gave some kind of computer address to contact.
It's at the Carlson Center. It's at the Carlson Center next weekend on Saturday and Sunday. So it's during the Go Winter Expo. You can go out there and enjoy it. I think it's going to be a small one, but we're going to have a good time.
I just wonder if they got any tables left.
I do have a few tables left if you want to do it. It's my gun show, so you definitely want to find out about it. We're supporting Sportsmen for Fish and Wildlife Alaska, so yeah, you could still get a table if you want, Larry.
Okay, how do I get a hold of you?
I'll give you a call later today. How about that?
Okay, all right.
All right.
Because are they 6 or 8 foot tables?
Six footers.
Okay, so I'd need 5 tables then.
Okay. All right. Well, I can squeeze you in. We can
All
still
right.
make it happen. I'll give you a call, Larry. Thanks for
All right, thanks.
Thanks for calling in this morning. I appreciate it. 433-3150. Yeah, I guess I should announce my the show that I'm putting together and coordinating next weekend at the Carlson Center in Fairbanks. It'll be one of the first gun shows that has been put on. The TVSA show was last weekend, and this will be the second show that's been put on since COVID, kind of ran rampant. So if you want to find out more, you can send me an email, me@michaeldukeshow.com. How about that? me@michaeldukeshow.com if you're interested in having a table. And it's put on in conjunction with the Go Winter Expo, which is the big outdoor type show, winter outdoor show that they do there. And so there'll be lots of people there. So if you want to be a vendor to that, just send me an email, me@michaeldukeshow.com. All right, over here we go. Good morning. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Morning, it's Bob in Fairbanks.
Hey, Bob.
I was going to call you, tell you about, I got a couple of firearms from my father-in-law who passed. They had them hanging on the fireplace since I was a kid. I remember when they were there. One's a pistol, shoots about a C battery size deal from 1798. As close as I can get on dates of them by looking them up on the web and when they were manufactured. And a pistol that's shooting at something about the size of a C battery wasn't for hunting. So somebody on some ship over in Europe was staring at that sometime.
Right, exactly.
And the other 2 weapons they got was 58 inches long. There's 2 of them. They're the same kind of a gun that I shot in the Zulu Wars down there. They're made in England. They made a horde of them, and then they took them back and they rechambered them from the percussion, thing to a little short shotgun shell. Did you ever hear of this? You ever hear of this one?
I haven't heard of that.
Looks like a 12 gauge. It takes a 12 gauge shotgun shell that's probably 1.25 inches long. They took them all back in 1840 something, 1850, and then they rechambered them all to get rid of the black powder stuff. And to open the breech, and you drop in little 1.5 inch, 1.25 12 gauge shell. And then that was how they shot. And I looked it up, and I haven't seen a picture on Wikipedia. The guy's holding my weapon. But these are old and beat. You wouldn't want to shoot them. You'd wear a face full of iron.
Right. They're good for conversation pieces.
It was for hanging on above the fireplace, and they've been there forever, and the rest of the family didn't want them. Well, I'll take them. So now I got them. And now, of course, they're passing. Where the hell did he get them? Why do we have them? How did they get from England to here? So none of that's going to get answered anymore. But I did pick up a new toy the other day here. I don't know if you know anybody's got them, but Ruger PC carbine. Little carbine,
Ruger
9mm one.
I haven't seen it. I'll have to take a look at it yet. Is it the cat's meow?
Everybody says things in sliced bed has been around for a couple of years, but I wanted to wait till it came out in 45 or something. But they went from 9mm to 10, and they won't be making
a 45 version.
I don't know. It was Ruger. Yeah, they won't be making one. Somebody wrote that something was like, ask the CEO of Ruger. And he typed in he wants this in 45, and the actual CEO, he got the email. I seen it, unless it's all doctored up, but it said, can't make it in 45, too heavy around for their bolt design and all the rest of that stuff. Would have to have a gas assist on it, and they don't want to do that because it's all blowback. But it's a different kind of blowback. The block is really big on the bolt.
Yeah.
And it's got a weight inside of it to kind of counteract when you pull the trigger, but I'm not a big fan of a 9mm, but I am a big fan of a semi-automatic, non-jamming 9mm, just pumping rounds down ways. Now, that's entertaining.
Yeah, no, I mean, that seems like it is. They say they also make it in 40 Smith & Wesson, according to what Wikipedia is saying.
Yeah. 49. Yeah.
Which
everybody wanted 10. Everybody wanted a 10. Everybody wanted 45. But, they made it. But I have never seen one in 40 because...
Yeah, so it's like
they make them, but they're not around. Really.
Right. So it's like a Ruger 1022, only it's built for pistol size cartridges. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yep, the safety and the trigger and everything is just like a 1022, and the bolt is too. It's big, but it's a bigger block.
Right, bigger.
It's heavy and it don't move around. But if you read something, I haven't found anybody said nothing negative about it yet, other than it's ugly. But who cares? Ugly's on the other end, downrange. That's where it's
That's
ugly
right.
at.
Does it shoot, and is it reliable? That's the question. All right, Bob.
Yeah, there you go. I think they're doing. All right, cool.
Thanks for calling in. I appreciate it. We appreciate it. All right, my friends, we are up against the break. We're gonna take it, and we're gonna come back. We'll take some more calls. We'll talk about some more headlines. And I'll give you full details on the gun show, apparently, because now I got a bunch of questions in the chat room about it as well. So we'll be back with more, and we got another question about shipping your weapons. So we'll answer all these things. How about that? The Michael Duke Show, common sense, liberty-based, free-thinking radio. Back with more right after this. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/Michael Duke Show.
If you missed the show, you can listen to it on your time with Dukes On Demand. Oh, and it's free. Like America used to be. Streaming live every weekday morning on Facebook Live and MichaelDukesShow.com.
Okay, gun show next weekend. It is the 23rd and the 24th. Interior Alaska Gun Show, October 23, 24, at the Carlson Center. It is 10 to 6 on Saturday, and then 11 to 5 on Sunday. For vendor info, email me at michaeldukeshow.com. Okay, because I can't talk and type at the same time. We discovered this. We know it. All right. So how about that? We posted that there. Post that over here. Post that right there. Look at that. Boom. It's all color beautiful. I got a text message here while we were sitting here. Make sure that there's not something else going on. Let's see. A bit of a mess. All right. Man, all the people on the podcast later are going to be like, why is he mumbling to himself? Well, that's because I'm trying to answer texts and talk and put stuff in the thing and do all the other stuff. And whew, baby, all kinds of things going on. Wasilla Local Gunsmith, any recommendations? I like James over at Valley Armory has got one, and Sterling Cook over at Arctic Ammo and Reloading. He's got a couple good gunsmiths on staff there in Wasilla. If you want to do that. Gun show info is up there. We're going to spent a couple of days sitting at the airport in Kotzebue waiting for a space available flight. It was mid-hunting season, and the TSA had 7 agents. It was awesome. They were digging through. Nothing is more fun to watch than a bunch of TSA agents at a small rural airport. I remember I was at the airport in Petersburg, which is the size of a living room. I mean, the airport is small. And they, no kidding, had like 5 or 6 TSA agents there. And they were, full body pat down scans going through. This is out of Petersburg. Lots of terrorist activity in Petersburg. I guarantee it. Just it's crazy to watch. All right. I'm going to answer Barbara's question. She was asking about shipping the weapons to Seattle, fly them in your suitcase. We'll get to that question here when we get back to being on air. I've got a new call on hold here, and we're about a minute and a half out. So let's go over there, get their name and where they're calling from, and we'll be to them when we get back on the radio. Who's this? Good morning.
Hey, Michael, it's Chris in Delta Junction.
Well, hello, Chris in Delta. Hold the line, my friend. You will be number one with a bullet. You'll be number one here as we come back out of the queue. And I love chatting with people. This is like my favorite day of the week for that. Joanne says, I have a question. I will call in right now. Joanne, call in. You'll be right after Chris. 433-3150. 433-3150. Okay. Let's get it on. Let's get through this. And see what you guys have to say on this. We're about a minute out right now. I like this Ruger carbine. I don't know why I haven't seen this. I mean, apparently I've been living under a rock. But this is 10 years later, 2017. They reintroduced the new upgraded 9mm takedown, which is apparently, I like it. I like it a lot. All right. Well, folks, like and share this video. Like and follow the show page. And let's get things rolling, shall we? We'll get things going on. We'll do it. The Michael Duke Show. Common sense, liberty-based, free-thinking radio. Share the show, like this video. Let's do it. Triggering people since 1999. That's right. The Michael Duke Show. You should be triggered if you're listening to this program. Trigger warning. It's Friday, and we're talking about guns. And joining me on the phone right now is one of our callers, Chris, who's out in Delta. Chris, what's on your mind, my friend? What's happening?
Oh, not a whole lot, Michael. First-time caller, long-time part-time listener. I only catch your show in the mornings when I'm just getting off from my night shift, but I'm working days. I miss you because you start after I get to work. So, but now I was listening to a couple of callers on the way home from work today, and it made me chuckle because some of their stories remind me of a couple of experiences that I had a number of years back. The one with the going through the Fairbanks with the TSA. So I'm a member of the Last Army National Guard, and I was going down to a shooting competition one time.
Right.
And me and the other guys from the team all met up at Fairbanks. And, so between us we had, 8 and 9 pistols, all our supporting magazines, M4 rifles, M16 uppers, and, the whole kit and caboodle. So we had a lot of gear going with us.
Right.
And it's funny because, I somehow ended up being the one that had to go check all the stuff. And they paged me to come over to the thing. And this guy's like, why do you have all these guns? I was like, well, because we're in the military and we're going to a shooting competition. And the dude was kind of freaking out because he didn't understand why we had these scary assault rifles.
Right. Because
well,
my first question would have been, it's none of your business. Am I being detained?
Yeah, exactly. So, but I've only, fortunately, I've only gone through Canada's borders a couple times, and out of the 4 times I've gone, 3 of them have been nightmarish experiences. And one of the gentlemen said earlier he was talking about going through the border, and they asked him how long he was going to be in Canada. He said, I don't know, 2 or 3 days, long enough to drive through. I did that the first time I went through Canada, and they sent us back to the U.S. side and made us come back 3 hours later and talk to another person after we were chewed out. So that was a rough experience. But my worst one was when I was PCSing down to Fort Rucker for flight school.
Right.
And so I have all my military gear in the back, and I tried to make sure I dot all my I's and cross all my T's. And And we get there, and they're like, well, do you have anything to do there? I was like, yes, I have my military-issued equipment. I have magazines, and I have, a couple of personal weapons, firearms. I left most of my stuff with a friend that I trusted here in Alaska.
Right.
I had a couple of rifles and a shotgun that was going with me. And they're like, oh, okay, do you have any magazines? And I was like, yeah, of course I have magazines that were issued to me by the military. Now, of course, military magazines are what some people call, quote-unquote, high-capacity magazines.
Right.
I was completely honest and upfront with them, and so we pull off, they have us pull off to the side, and as we're walking out, the one guy's like, do you have any magazines with you? And I was like, yeah, of course I did. And he's like, whoa, you didn't tell my partner that? And I was like, yes, I did. And at that moment, I was like, oh, here we go, the games are on.
Yeah.
And of course, my background, I was a military police officer, so I know all about the games and the searching and all this stuff.
Right.
So I knew it was coming. So, I pull out my gear bag that was, I left it luckily in the very back of the U-Haul. And they open it up, they start going through, and they start collecting, I had probably like 10 M9 magazines and, the equal numbers and then 4 magazines, and they're 30-round magazines respectively and 15 rounds for the M9. And they start grabbing all of my magazines and putting it in this bag. And you see, I had a drop leg holster for my M9 that I had purchased personally for use when I was working as a military police officer.
Right.
And they saw that holster and like, you didn't tell us you had a holster. I'm like, it's a holster.
Right.
It's not a gun.
Right.
Insane.
Right.
And then I had this little 2-point shed that I picked up during a land nav course when I was going through one officer candidate school, and that was in there. And like, you didn't declare that you had a trophy. I'm like, that's not a trophy. It was a shed I picked up off the ground. So they're trying to hit me with everything. Well, they take me back in and they're like, well, we're going to seize these magazines because you can't bring these into Canada. I'm like, dude, I gave you my orders. I'm in the military. I showed you my military ID. I'm PCSing down. Here's my orders for PCSing down to Alabama. Well, how do we know you're not going to stop and sell these to somebody?
These are property of the U.S. government, just FYI. I mean,
Yeah. So we get back in there, and the two dudes run off and have a little powwow. And I'm like, okay, I know there's going to be more to this. So they're like, well, due to your inconsistency with your answers and your questions and the fact that we found all this stuff, we're going to conduct a physical search of you. And I'm going, okay, And so they pull me back in this room, and they draw the curtain, and my dad, who was with us, was losing his mind over this. I'm like, Dad, calm down. Do not make. I know what they're doing. Calm down. I go back in there, and of course they put me in the position to search me. Arms out, feet spread apart, and bent slightly forward, so I'm off balance. Like I said, I was an MP, so I knew what they were doing, so I was totally okay with it. And we had just left my house like the day before, and for some reason I was finding like pocket knives everywhere as I was cleaning out the last little bit of stuff, and I was just sticking them in my pockets. So as they're searching me, they found like 5 pocket knives. And they said, why do you have all these knives? I was like, dude, I was just moving. I just picked them up and put them in my pocket. I didn't even think about it. But I played the game, and they couldn't get me on anything, except for they wouldn't allow me to come to Canada. And so they ended up giving me the magazines back, thank heavens. But, with the Alaska-Canada border here, it's like something like 20 or 30 miles between Canada's border patrol and the U.S. side.
Right.
So, and then that road's just terrible. So we drive all the way back, and they're like, before you come back, you have to have a manifest of all the stuff in your thing, and you have to have the proper paperwork for bringing in this trophy, and you can't bring these magazines. Well, I had no way I could do anything with the magazines because, I couldn't drive the extra hour and a half back to the town because first of all, it was like Saturday evening.
Right.
And there wouldn't be a post office I could ship the magazines. So I'm talking with the U.S. Border Patrol guy. I'm like, look, here's the situation, brother. Okay, they're gonna confiscate these magazines and destroy them, and I would rather that red-blooded Americans have these, than Canadians. So I was like, dude, I will give you these magazines, and I will eat the flipple on the backside if you just give me a paper saying that I gave them over to you guys. And he's like, yeah, we can do that. So. And then my wife and I spent probably about an hour going through and building a manifest of everything that was in the U-Haul that we were bringing with us.
Wow.
And, and so we finally got back to the border, and it was a whole different crew, and they were expecting, like, just this rough and tumble, nasty, uncooperative person when I got there the second time. And they're like, you are not the person that we were expecting from what the guys told us. And they're like, he basically made you sound like you were a terrorist. I'm like, no, I'm just a dude trying to get to Canada so I can go down to Alabama. And they're like, oh, okay. Yeah, I was through in like 15 minutes.
Man,
So,
something
needless
about
to say,
that.
like,
Give some of those people an inch of power, and they immediately become a dictator. That's the problem. You've seen it probably in your military. Military policing and policing in general. Give some of these guys an inch of power, and that's exactly what they do. Chris, thanks for calling in. I'm sorry I'm coming up on the break though, and we're trying to get through some of this other stuff here, but it looks like I am up against the clock. I'm a slave. I'm a slave to the clock. So thank you, Chris, for your call. I'm going to answer some of the other questions here off the air because we got Willie Waffle coming up in just a few minutes. The Michael Duke Show. Common sense, liberty-based, free-thinking radio. Appreciate you guys joining us today. We'll be back with more and Waffle Movies here in just a moment on your home for Common Sense Radio.
We're broadcasting live through a series of tubes. Well, it's kind of hard to explain. Sorry. Streaming live every weekday morning on Facebook Live and MichaelDukesShow.com.
Okay, we're in the break right now. Good call there for the last one. Didn't get a chance to get through. So a barber was asking, should you ship it in your car? Is it easier to ship your weapons in your car to Seattle or fly them in your suitcase? Well, so that's kind of it's not a loaded question, but I think flying them in my suitcase is probably the most secure, as far as doing that. If you're shipping your vehicle, and when you say ship your car in your car to Seattle, are you talking about taking your car, taking it to a car carrier forwarder and having them ship your car? Because I know a lot of people, they load up their vehicles with stuff and then ship the cars. That would be an easy way to do it as long as you don't mind it being out of your, immediate control. Put them down at the bottom of the pile of stuff and then put everything else on top of them in your car. As long as it doesn't go into Canada, you're fine, right? As long as you don't have to, as long as nobody is, has some kind of official search of your vehicle, then you're fine. You probably could do that. But probably if you're just talking about one or two and you're not talking about a dozen or something like that, probably easier just to put them in your checked baggage. Get a locking case, put them in your checked baggage, and declare them and fly them down with you. That's probably the easiest things to do, just because they're right there. And of course, it depends on is it a long gun? Is it a short? Is it a pistol? What is it? But either way, if you're shipping your vehicle down and you're already loading your vehicle up with a bunch of your household stuff and everything else, because when I helped Brendan, my buddy Brendan move down to the States, I helped him load his vehicle up because he was allowed so much so much total poundage for his vehicle, and so we loaded his vehicle up with all kinds of stuff, and put his computer in there and all these other kind of things that he was worried about shipping. And we packed it all into the back of his little Toyota 4Runner, and he took the vehicle, shipped it off, and then flew out the next day or whatever and got it all done. So, but it just depends. If you're talking about driving it on the ferry, then I don't know what the rules are on the ferry, but as long as it doesn't go into Canada, you're okay, right? That's the whole point there. Some transporters exclude firearms, says Brian. But again, unless they go through your vehicle, I don't know how they would know that. If you've got it in a box somewhere down at the bottom of the pile, they're not like they're unloading your vehicle. But my recommendation is if it's just a firearm or two, just ship them with you on the airline. It's just easier. Kanukistan? Guess I was censored? No, you're not censored. You're right there. Randy says, why do you have all these guns? Is that a dumb gun question? I heard that there are no such thing as a dumb gun question. I didn't say it was a dumb question. I'm just saying, is it any of your business? That's not a dumb gun question. That's just, I mean, again, why do I have to have a reason? Do I have to have a reason? There is no lawful reason that says that I can't have as many guns as I want. So why do you have all these guns? And what do you mean by all of these guns? Is it the 2 or the 3 or the 4 guns? I mean, is 4 guns an arsenal to you? Then maybe you and I have separate definitions of what is, real and true and everything else. So anyway, it's crazy. Seattle Airlines is about the only still gun-friendly airline I find, but it might not be that way very long with their one world airline policy, says Dwayne. I think he's talking about Alaska Airlines out of Seattle. Or he's basically mocking Alaska Airlines with the Seattle Airlines tag. I mean, Alaska's always been pretty good about it. I've never really had a problem with Alaska Airlines because I come in and I'm like, I know what I know. Here's the thing. Here's my declaration. Here's the lock case. I'll go over to TSA. Tell me when you're ready. So, anyway, it's good stuff. He was mocking. Yes, he says I was mocking it. Good, Dwayne. Good mocking, my friend. All right. What else we got here? Some transporters been censored. My 6-year-old grandson told me his teacher it's none of his business why he wore his rain boots to school instead of regular shoes. He's practicing for the TSA. As long as he was a little nicer about it, right? Well, because I wanted to. Because, I mean, just teach your grandson to say, am I being detained? Am I being detained? Are there any difficulties in Seattle? Not that I've heard of. I mean, I've never had a problem. I've shipped plenty of guns on Alaska Airlines through Seattle. I've taken my pistol to Seattle and done there. And the only thing is in Seattle is if you do have a pistol in your carry-on, you don't get it off the carousel. You got to go to the baggage office there behind the carousel to get it. And they want you to show your ID to prove that it's you and your ticket. So that's the only downside. I mean, it takes an extra few minutes to get it off the carousel. That's my thing. All right, well, phones are ringing. You ready to do this thing? Let's jump into it. The Michael Duke Show. Common sense, liberty-based, free-thinking radio. Okay, fine. We're ready to jump into this. We're ready to go. The Michael Duke Show, common sense, liberty-based, free-thinking radio. Friday, weekend. I'm ready. I'm done. I'm tired. It's all. Let's just jump into it, shall we? Willie Waffle from WaffleMovies.com comes in for our final segment every Friday to give us the latest in movie news, entertainment reports, and all the other jazz. Hello, my friend.
Well, hello. Oh my. Remember last week we talked about the infamous Bobby Flay?
I remember.
Possibly leaving the Food Network?
Oh, man, I read about it. Yep, I heard.
Yeah, it's happening, man. This is shocking, okay? Here's the shocking part. So Bobby Flay wanted a new contract.
Right.
And he gave out a number.
Right.
And he gave out a number based on the shocking fact, the shocking reality that Guy Fieri on the Food Network has an $80 million contract.
Right.
$80 million.
I know.
That's over 3 years.
And it was worse than that. It's like 84 million. But I mean, who's counting at that point, right? I mean, who's counting at that point?
Well, can I just say, I mean, I like Guy Fieri. I watch the shows. I think he's very entertaining. But when I think about being worth $80 million, I'm sorry, $84 million
right.
over 3 years, I look at him and go, dude, Dukes and I could do that.
Oh yeah. We drive around in a car, eat food, tell them about its winter chicken dinner. I mean, I could do all that. Yeah, absolutely.
There is nothing he's doing. I'm just like, What makes him worth $84 million? It's not like we can taste any of the food he's making.
Right. Well, to add insult to injury, then old Bobby Flay, he asked for a significant number, a 3-digit number.
Be $100 million.
Right, $100 million, and Food Network's like, well, and oof, man.
Yeah, I mean, they and it's really interesting because somewhere at the Food Network, someone went, $100 million. You're no Guy Fieri,
right? But I mean,
I think what really happened is they went, we can't afford you. We already paying Guy Fieri $80 million.
Right, exactly. I think, and of course, there was no disclosure on what Bobby Flay is making right now, but I imagine it's probably commensurate or close to what Guy is making. Right, I would assume so at this point.
Oh, I'm sure. And the Food Network was trying to put out the story that well, you got to understand there's a lot that goes into that 80 million and just because we didn't want to give it to Flay, it's not like they're apples to apples.
Right.
Bobby Flay wanted to do different things and
right.
Probably didn't want to do as many shows, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of crazy when a network, a television show about nothing but watching people eat food is generating stars worth tens of millions of dollars a year. It's kind of shocking, quite honestly.
We missed the boat.
I know. I could have done it, man. I could have been a contender. All right. So Bobby Flay, we'll see how he lands. He's going to land somewhere. The question is how much, but we'll see what happens from there. What else is on the entertainment news feed?
Well, we now have, I think we always did, maybe it just kind of hit me. I know we were getting the Home Alone sequel on Disney Plus this holiday season. Well, it is going to premiere on November 12th, which is being considered like Disney Plus Day.
Okay.
Come watch everything we have. And we have this new sequel to Home Alone. It's called Home Sweet Home Alone. And the biggest question out there, the thing people have been asking, the thing that they've been hoping for and praying for and craving, would Macaulay Culkin show up in the, remake of Home Alone?
And the answer is?
He says, nope.
Nope.
Not doing it. Didn't even ask me. I don't know what people are on.
He's doing some serious acting. I mean, he's out there portraying a meth-addicted male prostitute in American Horror Story. He's up there, a vampire turned male crackhead. He's doing some real acting. He can't be bothered with Home Alone.
But couldn't he at least play like the nice guy next door?
I mean, yeah, seriously. What's it take to do that? I'll take my $100,000 to show up for half a day's work or whatever. I mean, come on.
Man.
What's it take? Yeah.
As it is now, I think Kenan Thompson got that role.
Yeah, exactly. Well, look, Home Alone, it's hard to recapture that. It's hard to put that genie back in the bottle and recapture that lightning in a bottle. I don't know. Again, how you and I we've ad nauseum talked about, can't we just get something new? Why are we rebooting, rejiggering, refiguring, prequeling, after, whatever? I mean, sequeling. Why can't we just get some new ideas?
Yeah, and I agree with you. You can't recapture that lightning in the bottle. I mean, when you look at just the circumstances around Home Alone, it was a fresh idea. It was a fun idea. For the time, it was believable. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't track little kids,
right,
like we do now. And when it came out, it kind of came out at the right time of the year. We were kind of in the midst of Desert Storm and everything that was going on there. And people just wanted to have a good time, and they wanted to laugh at a cute little kid who was playing pranks on the two big mean baddies who were really just comically funny.
Right. No, I don't know as you can recapture that. I really don't. And like you said, it was way before helicopter parenting. You know what I mean? It was way before that. So, yeah, I just don't know how that's going to play out. But, hey, Disney, what are you going to do? They're going to recycle everything they can, although they are coming out with a lot of great new content. I saw the part of a teaser for the new Obi-Wan series that's coming out. That looks good. The Book of Boba Fett, the Star Wars stuff. And then you've got a lot of the Marvel things they're doing, the Loki and the WandaVision and everything else. And they're House of Mouse has got some power right now, baby.
They do. The Hawkeye show is coming.
Right.
It's coming
I heard that.
hard, coming fast.
Yep.
I mean, I agree with you. I think they right now, I think Disney Plus and Netflix really were the two geniuses of streaming. And Disney Plus, I think, a little bit more genius because they were second or third to the table. Actually, more like maybe fourth or fifth.
Yeah, say fourth or fifth. Yeah, they're way down the chain.
But you hit it right on the head. They got deals with Marvel and deals with Star Wars that they are now set for years.
Right.
Like they are just going to be churning these things out and people are going to be eating them all up. Netflix, while it's providing really great content, a lot of their shows and a lot of their movies are always hit or miss. There's not a guarantee in there like you do with a Marvel series or with Star Wars.
Well, you don't have the built-in audience, right? I mean, they've got a built-in audience for Star Wars and Marvel. And even though when Disney Plus came out, their offerings were very limited. And and it wasn't until they started doing some of these series and things like that people really started to get excited. And now they're doing a lot of documentaries about the movies and everything else. There's getting to be a lot more content on there, and it's kept me paying the $6.99 a month every month for it just because I might want to watch something new or something like that. So not a bad deal.
No, I wish I had thought of it.
All right, well, let's talk. We got about 6 minutes here. So okay. I want to talk a little bit about Disney Plus. They've got a couple things. The Muppets are getting spooky.
Oh, yeah, baby. Disney Plus and a lot of places have just become the Halloween channel for the month of October. And they have a couple of things. And one of them is this Muppets Haunted Mansion. Yes, the Haunted Mansion, which was a horrible movie starring Eddie Murphy,
right,
has been turned into a Muppets special. It's about an hour long, I think like 50 minutes long. And the challenge is that the great Gonzo and his buddy, Pepe the Prawn, have to spend the night in the Haunted Mansion.
Right.
And, well, to do so, they have to survive ghosts and ghouls and goblins and Miss Piggy.
Right. Oh, and it's Muppets. Muppets, I mean, I got to be honest with you. Some of those Muppet movies are still to this day, pretty darn good. You know what I mean? Muppet Treasure Island. We still watch the Muppet Christmas Carol every Christmas because it's so good with Michael Caine. I mean, there's some good stuff on there.
And this is not at that level, but it's good. It's a musical, which kind of surprised me. I don't know a lot of spooky musicals. And I think that's kind of capturing the spirit of what the show is. It's not going to be creepy, crawly, scare your pants off, okay? It is going to be goofy Muppet stuff.
Right.
Goofy ghosts.
Right.
Goofy, scenes and ridiculous banter. And every once in a while, something a little bit more cutting edge that makes all the adults go, yeah, that's hilarious.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, and they are targeting the kids as well. So -1 to 4 waffles. How about Muppets Haunted Mansion?
I would 2.5 waffles. I think it's a pretty decent.
All right. Well, they've got another one again targeting more back to kids with the author R.L. Stine, who's done a lot of the Goosebumps books and everything else. They've got a set of stories about kids living in a parallel universe.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Twilight Zone for tweens, and it's called Just Beyond. And it's an anthology series. Each story is kind of standalone, and we see things that are happening in kind of almost a parallel type universe. So,
right.
There's an episode where there's a girl being sent off to reform school, but it's really a brainwashing factory, and can she fight back? And then there's a story about the two boys who are really worried that there's something wrong with their parents.
Right. All right. Well, that sounds kind of fun. I mean, R.L. Stine has done a lot of good stuff, and his stuff has been, translated to short movies and to TV shows and things like that. So, something good for the kids around Halloween time. So, -1 to 4 waffles on Just Beyond, inspired by the writings of R.L. Stine. What do you think?
I'll go 2.5 waffles. I think it's entertaining.
Okay. There is another movie which we didn't talk about previously. You don't have your list there, but it's got the oh man, I've just totally spaced her name. The gal from Jessica Jones, Kristen Ritter, and she plays a witch, and that's also it. He has to throw that out there. Well, I've met her.
I did, because it was really a highlight of my life.
She's something else, isn't she? But she's doing another type of R.L. Stine type. I don't know if it was R.L. Stine or somebody else, but it was like one of the Goosebumps writers where she captures kids and keeps them in her house to write her scary stories and stuff. It's another kids kind of friendly thing that's out there as well. So they're really kind of pumping that out pretty hard.
Oh, they're going big time. They're going big time. Now you've given me something to watch so I can remember.
So you can
the day
remember.
I met Kristen Ritter.
Man, you really got to get a life. I mean,
really,
it's just
and
like
I'm not going to lie, I flirted.
Yeah,
I flirted, maybe.
I met her. Yeah, I met her. Name dropper. All right, we're down to about 2 minutes here, which is the one that my wife has been waiting for you to review. We didn't even get to Venom today. Did you see Venom, just out of curiosity?
I didn't.
Oh, shut up, Waffle. You're dead to me. All right, so Halloween Kills. This is the one my wife has. She's been asking me for 3 weeks. Has he talked about it yet? Halloween Kills. Jamie Lee Curtis is back, and they're going to try and kill Michael Myers.
That's right, and it's in theaters and on the Peacock streaming network, and we are literally picking up right where we left off at the end of the last Halloween movie a couple years ago, where Michael Myers is trapped in Jamie Lee Curtis's cabin, and it's on fire. There is no way he's going to escape. He's got to be dead. No. He's not.
It's Michael Myers. Come on, you just can't burn him up in a house and think that he's going to not survive that. All right, so Halloween Kills, and of course it follows the story of what they're trying to how to do it. The whole town's riled up. Everything's good. What's your take?
I think it's the thing that makes this movie suffer a little bit.
Right.
Is it's kind of obvious there's going to be a sequel. Like, we already know it's been announced. It's going to be next year at this time. It's going to be called Halloween Ends. So I guess it doesn't end this time, does it?
Dang it.
And this really is, it really is more of a kill festival. I don't know what else to say.
Right.
Michael Myers is making his way through town. He's trying to get back to his old house, and whoever gets in his way, it gets ugly.
Gets the chop. All right, -1 to 4 waffles on Halloween Kills. Give me a rating.
I'm going to go 2 waffles. I feel like I liked the last one better than this one. I think the big finale, alleged finale, will probably be better too.
All right, well, we'll have to watch for it. Willie Waffle, Waffle Movies, thank you, my friend. It's good to talk with you. Thanks for being part of it today. All right, folks, we got more coming up on Monday. Don't go anywhere. Enjoy your weekend. We will see you then. Be kind. Have a good one. All right. Well, we're out of time for today. Willie Waffle, Waffle Movies. It's just so sad. I tell you all these great shows to watch, and you're like, yeah, I'll watch them. Every weekend you disappoint me. I just don't know. Do you consider yourself to be a good friend? I'm just asking. I'm just asking.
I do. I get really wrapped up. I'm like a shark. I have to keep moving forward. I have to keep moving forward. There's always something new. I can't stop because I got to go see Dune. Oh, I can't stop. I got to see the Home Alone sequel. Oh, I can't stop. There's another Halloween movie. It's hard for me to just go back.
His life is so hard. All I got to do is I got to watch this and I got to watch that. And you don't understand, Dukes, how hard my life is. I've got to watch all this stuff. You've been watching Squid Games?
I've been watching Squid Games. I'm kind of caught in the middle right now. There's a couple of things that I watch all the time. I'm very excited. The last episode of Only Murders in the Building is this week. And
I've been waiting. I've been waiting. I haven't watched it.
Yeah, I haven't either. I love that show. I've been watching Midnight Mass on Netflix.
Oh man! That was so good. Oh my god, that's so good.
So when I'm not catching up on that, I kind of catch Squid Games, but I think Midnight Mass and Steve Martin have taken the lead in my heart as far as which movie or which shows I'm keeping up with right now. And I want to keep up with this new Hulu thing that came out this week, Dope Sick. I really think this is good, and I'm kind of enjoying that, and I think I'm probably watching that every week. So I'm running out of slots.
Well, you'll have to tell us about Dope Sick next weekend, but Only Murders in the Building, I watched the first episode, and then I told Terry, I said, we're not watching another episode till they're all in. That's it. Then we'll watch it. But we watched Midnight Mass. Fantastic. Michael Flanagan, the guy's a genius. I'll watch anything that guy produces. In fact, I did. I watched one, The Ouija. After she watched that, we went out and searched out another movie called Ouija, something
that
of evil.
was really good.
Yeah.
I think didn't he also do the Oculus? Oculus was really good.
I can't remember. I'll have to look it up. Anyway, great guy. I'm also watching Titans. Titans just dropped their final episode. This next week, they're going to drop their final episode, and I'll be able to watch the whole thing. And then Wheel of Time is coming out. The Expanse season 6. There's a lot of good television coming out. You know how I'm going to be spending my spare time, so we'll have to compare notes down the road.
I'm ready.
All right, my friend. Well, thanks so much for coming on board, folks. We got to go. The Michael Duke Show. Common sense, liberty-based, free thinking radio.
We've shed our terrestrial radio skin, and now we are slimy lizard internet people. It's the Michael Duke Show.